Now, the next thing we're going to discuss, okay, is this entire situation regarding Bill Cosby being released from prison. Okay, he got released last week, and a lot of people want to know exactly how in the world did Bill Cosby get released from prison after he was convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison for allegedly raping a woman, doing allegedly sexually assaulting several other women who came forward. They said up to like 50 to 60 women came forward, making claims about the comedian Bill Cosby. And, they ended up convicting him in court back in 2018. And now he's back, out of the jail cell, like literally the same. I swear to you, when I got the announcement, I was like, wow, what happened? I put the announcement out, and literally less than that, like I would say less than an hour, I put that out. Bill Cosby was already doing a press conference. The man was out of his prison uniform. His lawyers was up front talking to him. Bill Cosby didn't say a word in that press conference, okay? Very, very smart of him to not say anything. But, people are trying to figure out, like, what exactly happened that made it so Bill Cosby got set free. Well, I'm going to explain this to you guys because a lot of people are mad. I'm sure a lot of people are mad. I've been going through social media just seeing how the public has reacted, and it seems to be kind of like a O.J. Simpson type of situation where mostly black people are happy that he's released, and then it's mostly other, more so non-black people who's not happy that he's released. And then we have a couple of women in between, a large sector. And if we talk about sexes, there's mostly women who are, disappointed that he's been released from prison, while a lot of men are excited about it. You know what I mean? But let's just get to the apples and oranges of this whole situation. So basically, allegedly what happened was back in 2005, there was a case that was pending against Bill Cosby from an accuser. Now, the person who was presiding over the case, the DA, made a deal with Bill Cosby, basically pleading with him to confess during a deposition, saying that he did indeed sexually assault a woman, okay, and that if he did so, he would not be tried for the case wouldn't be taken to court, and he would not be in trouble for it. He did this deal, had Bill Cosby sign off on this deal. He basically forcibly told him that he had to do the deposition so they wouldn't file any charges against him. Bill Cosby decided to do so, and he decided to go about his day. Now, creep up 10 years later, a new DA came in, okay? And they basically wanted to, start some shit. And they decided to just basically throw away the entire deal that he did with the DA, which is illegal, the previous DA, which is illegal, and attempted to try Bill Cosby for these alleged victims that came out saying that allegedly Bill Cosby sexually assaulted them, raped them, et cetera, drugged them at hotels, parties, and you name it. Now, the people presiding and the prosecutors presiding moved forward, and the jury decided to convict him, put him in jail for 10 years. But what they did, okay, and I'm just going to explain this to everybody because I know people that's listening, I don't know if you're triggered. If you are a person who may be triggered by this, I do recommend you guys leaving for a second and coming back, or just fast forward through the podcast. How about that? Because I still want you to hear my show. But this is a particular topic I know is very sensitive for people who've been sexually assaulted or rape victims, stuff like that. But I'm just going to explain this in the layman, logical terms and stuff, and just explain to you guys how the justice system works. This is no way of me coming out saying I support Bill Cosby and the things that he allegedly did to women. This is no way of me trying to be insensitive. This is just me stating what the facts is and what's been put out there by his lawyers, social media, and many other sources. Okay, pretty much, Bill Cosby got convicted of these the sexual assault crimes, rape, et cetera, when he was not supposed to. The reason why he wasn't supposed to be convicted is due to the fact that he did already have a deal in regards to this entire situation with a DA who just told him and agreed in an agreement that if Bill Cosby did a deposition confessing to the listed crimes that he went to jail for, and said that, oh, yeah, I did it, he wouldn't have been convicted and been in prison, okay? He signed off on that deal. That basically meant that he was not supposed to have been retried about the situation. Okay, it's kind of like double jeopardy, where you can't be tried for the same thing twice. That's pretty much what it was. Okay, they made a deal with him back in 2005. Bill Cosby signed that deal. He spoke with the people, did a deposition with the DA and everybody else in the court of justice law, and they basically threw that whole situation out of court afterwards. But the new DA had a thing out, for Bill Cosby. I guess they wanted to really prove themselves, or, wanted a big case to make them feel good. So they tried to dig up an old case and make it new again, and then they convicted him, which is illegal. You can't do that. Okay, they basically blindsided him. He didn't. If he decided not to take that deal and do the deposition, or the DA didn't offer him that deal and he didn't accept it, then they could have moved forward with convicting him for these alleged crimes, the raping, the sexual assault, and everything else. But seeing that Bill Cosby actually signed on and the DA made a promise to him, legally, Bill Cosby was protected. You can't do that. So pretty much his team came together. They brought this over to the court justice, and they voted, and, everybody wasn't in agreement, but enough people was in agreement, and they decided to free Bill Cosby. Now, people could say whatever they want about it, but right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, let me explain it when I say that, because when you guys hear that, I think I'm like, what type of sick shit? No, I'm not saying what he did was right, but I'm talking about the justice system and how things work in the justice system. If they make a deal and the rules are the rules, if Bill Cosby decided to do that deposition and they gave him a plea deal saying that he couldn't go to jail if he did a deposition and they was going to throw the case out, that's what they have to do under law, under the justice system, under the judicial system. They can't just come back and say, oh, well, after you did this confession, now we're going to backtrack and throw that out, and then we're going to try this all over again. They can't do that. It's illegal. And that's why Bill Cosby is free. That's why he's free. You can't try somebody twice when you just made a deal with them saying if they did a deposition, they couldn't be convicted. Simple. You do this deposition, you confess to these crimes, you don't go to jail. That's basically what they told Bill Cosby back in 2005. Then we fast forward to 2015, so-and-so, to start brewing back up again. And the new DA that came in following the DA that retired or left, whatever happened to them, decided to try to convict him. And they succeeded at convicting him. But it was corruption. So that's why 3 years into his serving his 10-year sentence, Bill Cosby is now free. Now, people can feel how they want to feel about it, And do you guys feel, maybe the DA gave Bill Cosby privilege in 2005 because he is Bill Cosby? He's like, America's favorite dad? Yeah, that's very much possible. But if the deal was done, it was done. And there can't be a conviction, Do I feel bad for the alleged victims if this actually happened to them? Yes, I do. I don't feel like any woman should, be sexually assaulted. I feel like if someone does sexually assault a woman, they should be fully convicted at the highest extent of the law. However, if the courts and the justice systems make a deal with the individual, okay, or a person who is supposed to be the perpetrator of the crime, and the person follows that plea deal, you can't try somebody twice for the same crime, especially if you guys told him he wouldn't go to jail for it. So that's pretty much what's going on. Now, let's talk about Phylicia Rashad. Okay, now once the news broke that Bill Cosby was released, Bill Cosby's co-star, Phylicia Rashad, legendary Phylicia Rashad, who played Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show, she came out on her Instagram and basically was saying that, something seriously wrong was righted, a serious wrong was righted, basically cheering on and being excited that Bill Cosby was free, saying that he was an innocent man, giving, insinuations that, he didn't do none of the crimes that he was being accused of, like sexually assaulting, allegedly raping women, things of that nature. Now, that set Twitter, Instagram, and all social media ablaze, okay? And So they went in on Phylicia Rashad, okay? And the post that she put up that made everybody just like lose their mind was, it says as follows: finally, a terrible wrong is being right. A miscarriage of the justice system is corrected. And it was a picture of Bill Cosby. All right. The people on Instagram lost their mind when they seen that post, baby. Now, they attempted to try to comment, but Phylicia Rashad did turn her comments off so nobody else could say anything. So they decided to take their asses over to her other post on her Instagram and her Twitter and basically give her a piece of their mind, trying to, really just shame her for kind of like protecting Bill Cosby. They were basically accusing her of being an enabler. They just basically couldn't understand how she could support a man who was allegedly been convicted of rape and sexual assault, even if he did get off on the technicality. Now, let me help you guys understand. Bill Cosby was not released because he was actually innocent. He was released because of a justice technicality, okay? Just based off a technical instance, like I told you guys, he made a deal with the DA. He confessed to the things that he allegedly did, and they basically wasn't going to throw him in jail for it, okay? Now, also, if we're going to play the devil's advocate, just because he said that he did it doesn't mean he actually did it. Is it possible that Bill Cosby was cornered? Is it possible that Bill Cosby was cornered into saying these things? And, oftentimes we do see, a lot of our fellow black entertainers being accused of certain things because they have a lot of power within the world. Not just in the black community, but just in the world. People have a lot of conspiracy theories on Bill Cosby of why, they decided to lock him up. One of them being that he tried to buy, I believe he said CBS or NBC, and they weren't trying to allow it, so they were trying to dirty up his name. A lot of crazy conspiracy theories, but that's just what it is, okay? But just in general, Phylicia Rashad came out. She defended her friend. Now, do I feel like it was the smartest thing for Miss Phylicia Rashad to do? No, I don't. But if she has a freedom to be able to speak her opinions on certain things, and that's her right, okay? And with that opinion, you're gonna deal with the public, giving their opinion back and the backlash that may come from that opinion, okay? Now, this also led to, Stephanie Mills, the singer, old school singer, that Stephanie Mills came out and defended her friend Phylicia Rashad and said, I love you, Phylicia Rashad. If it's true that Howard University wants to terminate her position because they feel her comments about Mr. Cosby were insensitive, then they should give back the millions of dollars that he donated to the university. Now, let's get into that part, okay? So basically, not only did the fans go in on Phylicia Rashad, they actually went to Howard University, where she's actually currently the dean of that university. Okay, they gave her the job this past year to be the dean of Howard University, and now there's a bunch of people that's been on the page basically asking for Phylicia Rashad to be fired, basically trying to say that she's a danger for the campus, and they don't think that she'll be able to handle any type of serious situation in regards to female sexual assault or anything like that, or possible rapes on the campus if she's defending Bill Cosby, okay? Now, Howard University did not fire Phylicia Rashad. They actually put out a statement, denouncing what she said. If you guys like this clip, make sure you guys check out my full podcast, available right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's the DJ Jericho Podcast, where I talk about entertainment news, gossip, and much, much more. Make sure you guys also hit that subscribe button right now on YouTube. Hit that bell, okay, so you guys could be notified next time I upload. I got a ton of videos I'm always dropping. I want to make sure you guys are notified. So hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, comment, interact, y'all. Don't be afraid. It's the DJ Jericho Podcast. I appreciate y'all. Peace.